Welcome back to the another live. It is the weekend live recap test. So right now we're testing out Ecamm software. This is a software that you can utilize to go live or use it in video production. Right now I am testing this Ecamm live software with the Sony ZV1 camera, and I got it on this setting that's in like black and white. Really digging this. I like to take black and white photos, so having a black and white video with a click of a switch, I think is a pretty neat feature. But yeah, kind of just getting into this live, I guess you could say, kind of recapping this whole past week. We'll probably just start with why live. Well, Instagram, you do need 1,000 followers to go live. And YouTube, you do not need any followers to go live. So I think that's a real big advantage. And why would you go live? Well, you would go live is to put information in real time, to connect and engage with others, but also just kind of like, I don't know, give, I would say, updates or whatever is going on. So, yeah, really, I want to kind of test out these different features in Ecamm. And right now, this is a scene, and this is a camera scene, but it's taking up the whole background. And so, what's really neat about the Ecamm feature is that you can change the scene and you can have a background. So, just like this, right? And these scenes were pre-set up ahead of time. So with this border, the shading, and even the color that's coming in right now can be adjusted through the Ecamm software on the back end. So yeah, this is, I guess you can say, kind of a test with Ecamm, but it's also like everything that I've done in the last week or two, because 2 weeks ago was the 7-day challenge with Pat Flynn and Ecamm, where the objective was to go live for 7 days in a row. So after completing that challenge, I felt that there was still things that I was really interested in. So I want to keep on testing with the platform. So I kind of kept up the lives. I didn't do one every day. I think this past week I did maybe like 3, maybe or 4. Um, the Friday night live, tonight's live, and I think I did one more during the week. So at least 3 of them, right? So that brings me up to like maybe 10 or more, because I did a few other lives during that 7-day challenge as well. So, but it's been really helpful because as I'm playing with the system and software, getting to understand these different buttons and what they do, I can see how they work into my workflow or whatever I'm trying to do. So today I actually cleared off all the scenes and I started brand new, and I just kind of wanted to test myself and see what I could do, um, with not too much time, right? I mean, I did spend a little bit of time on it before this, trying to set these things up. And I think it's easy to get carried away on what you want to do because there's so many really cool features. Um, as I get through the end, you'll kind of start to see the progression of different things that I try to implement in these different scenes going forward. So like right now, this is a whole scene with a background. And this next scene is actually, and I did this in one of my other videos. This is I'm using my iPhone and I'm bringing in the camera through my iPhone. Actually, I'm not bringing the camera. I'm bringing in a live screen of the camera, and that's brought in through NDI. And so I'm using NDI app, which allows me to share my screen. And in my phone, I brought up YouTube. So this is where I can actually see the live that's going on right now. And I want to test out this feature by putting a comment on the screen. So I needed a comment, and I figured out how to make a comment on my own live, which I just did. So without getting too technical, I mean, this is getting fun now, but I put a comment on the live, and I'm showing on the screen that you're seeing um, my iPhone. So let's see if I can show the comment and add it to the broadcast. Okay, so there it is. There it is. All right, let's try to. Wow, that's a big comment. Okay, let's try to make this smaller. Whoa, there it went. Oh, now it's in some kind of inception here. Okay. Well, all right, let's try that one more time. We'll add it. Let's try to change the size here, maybe. See if it'll allow me to change the size. All right, edit text box. All right, I'm just trying to make it smaller. And I know there's a way. All right, well, where did it go? Well, we're gonna have to try to get that comment back on the screen again so I can try to resize that at some point. But all right, back to this live. We're keep on testing this these different, I guess you could say, cameras to see how they work with the Ecamm platform and software. Your iPhone is a camera, and you can use it to get into Ecamm. Right now, I'm using the Sony FX30 with a 15 millimeter 1.4 lens, so it's a wide lens. That's how come it can get all this in the background. So one cool feature with these the screen share is that whatever you have on your phone, you can bring up into the feed. So that's what's really neat. And I think right now it's doing some inception thing. So maybe I should get off of the live because it looks like it's a somewhat of a delay, and you can change the delay when you want to as well for how fast it lags as well. So one of the things that I did want to talk about is this whole social media thing. I think for a lot of people, social media can be daunting and can be scary. And for other people, social media can be a break, a breath of fresh air. And I really feel like it's all perspective. And because everyone is surrounded by a different environment and they value different things, everyone's going to have a different experience with social media. And that's why to some, it's the devil. To others, it's what brings them peace. And I think for me, just by understanding all of that, how do I, or how does it fit in with me, and what is my relationship with it? And previously, I would say my relationship with it wasn't I wasn't uh, um, willing to explore as much. And I think now that I've explored much, I feel like it has helped me to get a better understanding, which reduces the fear and anxiety, and it makes it more warm and welcoming and inviting. So I don't know, let me know what your thoughts is. I'm not sure who this is gonna reach or catch, but it'd be really cool to see, if you've been on social media for a long time, what's your thoughts on it? If you're brand new to social media, what's your thoughts on it? And like how has it maybe changed since before, right? For me, I would say it has, in the last year, my relationship with social media has gotten a lot better. I understand the value of it. For myself, I think it's too easy to get caught up in what would be termed as brain rot or endless scrolling and things like that. I think if you do go into it with an intention and a purpose, and even if that intention or purpose is I have a 5 minute break and I'm just looking to be inspired, um, that's cool. I feel like social media is really like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. So whoever is perceiving it is going to have really their own opinion based on what they're going through. And so maybe that's why maybe my social media experience wasn't great before. Or I can say, and I've told people this before, is I actually liked MySpace more than Facebook. I don't really like Facebook. And there's a couple of reasons why. One thing is the layout. I don't like the layout. I don't like the colors. I don't like, how it functions. What's funny is if you're from the MySpace days, you probably got into coding without anyone asking you. And I think that was really neat. There's a whole generation and a bunch of us that probably learned how to code just to have a nicer page on MySpace. I mean, even before that, if you go back to, some of these other websites, I'm trying to think of some of the ones like GeoCities and like you know, there's a few other sites that I remember back in the day that like were these early come up sites. And I actually remember working on a web page in this summer program that I had in intermediate. It was Summer Bridge, and at Summer Bridge, we actually it was for, I don't want to say underprivileged, but it was for like certain type of youth, and you had to get recommended into this program. I don't want to say troubled youth, but it was for like certain youth. And because I was on the west side, it was a bunch of us west side kids that were transitioning into 7th and 8th grade that got to take this program called Summer Bridge, which was sponsored by the Harry and Jeanette Weinberg Association. And they allowed college students who were looking to become teachers to basically tutor and teach 7th and 8th graders during the summer. And this was a program that I got into, and I was in it for 2 years. I believe both years we dormed at Midpack. And what's crazy is I'm always trying to like find other people who were in Summer Bridge. It was like a short stint, but like, I do remember some of the cats that I was with in Summer Bridge. Some went to Campbell, some went to Nanakuli. I feel like I forget his name, maybe it was David. But even some of the teachers and instructors were really cool that were going to college, I think, at the time. And one of them actually helped me get into the Read Space Honolulu. And that's going to be a whole nother story that we're going to unpack, because there's some really cool bits of information that I would like to get deeper into. But like this live isn't going to be the live for it. So, but yeah, Summer Bridge was really neat because it allowed us to learn these skills from other aspiring teachers and students. And that's when I actually built my first web page. So it was like 7th, 8th grade, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, but back to like where we're at right now. Oh man, sorry about that. Testing with Ecamm. Um, just checking out these different things on the platform of how to go live. And I think one of the things that I mentioned that we were going to talk about is, oh yeah, what's up? Let me just add this. Let's go. What's up, Vibes Hawaii? Let's see if I can add this. Can I add it? It's coming out all jacked. Hold on. Let me fix this. Can I fix this? There you go. Oh, look, I can just, bang, look at that. Let's go. Can I keep it there? Bang, it's back. All right. Yo, appreciate the comment so I can get it up and keep testing this thing. Oh, man, let me make this thing. Why is it going on forever? BTB for life. Yeah, let me put that up. Oh, I gotta find a way to make this box smaller. Comment box. Yo, Garrett, did you see the video with the your brother in it? It's funny because that was one thing why I kind of came back to YouTube, is being able to host these videos and like keep them where they don't like get lost forever. Because I'm pretty sure I did lose some videos, but like there's some that I still found a way to like, you know, to preserve. So that was part of it, preserving it. I'm gonna find a way to get these to stay on there, but I don't know why it's on there, but it's like long as hell. So I think I'll just have to fix this comment box and make it smaller at some point. But yeah, let me go back to this black and white because I think it's really cool. So going back to the black and white, this Ecamm software, I think Tony Mom has the hoop it up footage. Bro, yeah, if Tony's, let me put that up real quick. Gosh. Copy text. No. Yeah, I don't think, you know, I think Miguel might have some hooped up on a VHS, but you know how those things work because things degrade. It might not be good. But what's funny is I know Miguel has some tapes, so I mean, it would just you know, try to like see if he has bust them out, because I think when when Tony and Miguel were making their basketball tapes for college, I'm pretty sure like there was a bunch of other like footage around, you know, like Rosas came through on the moped, and yeah, Garrett is great times. I you know, that's why I hope someone can find this footage and preserve them. But that's why we're on this platform right now. This is kind of what got it all started, is to preserve these moments, preserve these videos. Yeah, yeah. I'm fix the stream with the chat box. Yeah, for sure. Like, let's see here if it let me get into it. Hey, hey, I got it to do the ticker at least. Hey, you know what? That's one way to keep it on screen. Let's see. I figured out how to do that. So one, you know, moving on up. But Garrett, I appreciate the comment, because if not, then I wouldn't be able to mess around and play with it and get this up on the screen. Yeah. But one of the things, you know, we did mention that we're going to talk about, besides social media, right? Because everyone has a different response to social media, is facing your fears. And I can say that this live, you know, this is maybe like the 10th live, and I definitely was like, I would say tripping, but you know, with so much buttons, it's really just trying to find your flow, and just, you know, playing around with these buttons. I actually think that I've found a way to set it up where I got some flow. So if I go to this scene, I can transition to this next scene, which brings it in color. Um, and I don't know if you see these shoes behind me, but we got these De La Soul Dunks. So so today I did a like a mini photo shoot doing this what did you wear today, and before these shoes start crumbling, because they have this material. It's like called lenticular printing, and it's kind of like when you move it, it's supposed to like move the picture. But these things are about to break. It's all like cracking over here. I don't know if you can see it. So before they like completely break, I wanted to get some pictures and document them. So I guess it's good that I get to show these on this live because they'll be documented. But yeah, these are De La Soul dunks from 2005. So that means they're over 20 years old. And this is the pink box era from Nike SB. And what a collaboration. I mean, De La Soul got the 3 Feet High and Rising album like on it. This was the first dunk, well, the first shoe I think that had a different color than the original elephant print from the Jordan 3. So this is like a green elephant print. And one of the things I like about this is this double stitching that they got going on over here with this orange. The first time I saw these, I think it was in 2005 at the Soul Collector Soul Collector Nike Town Waikiki. I was just amazed because normally at that time, every retro, all the Jordans, they all stayed the same color. There was no special colors or nothing like that. So when De La came out with this green elephant print, it was just wild. And then I guess being from Hawaii, anything with this green and orange, it definitely feels like UH, or kind of like Hawaii-ish. And they got this brown suede. Yeah, so yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite Nike SBs that they made. And I actually got these off of InStyle Shoes forums. So Soul Collector, InStyle Shoe forums, ISS forums. The cat I got this off actually got it from Flight Club New York. So there's a sticker on the pink box. So what's crazy is as I'm talking about this, there's a video that let's see. There's a video that I put together as a trial reel, and I don't know if you guys mess with trial reels on Instagram, but I just started to mess with it, and it's a way for you to like load in some reels and test them out before you put it on your page. And so I actually did one with the De Las and probably drop that tomorrow. So if you're seeing this now or you're seeing this later, go check the Instagram so you can see the shoot with the De Las on it. Yeah. All right. One of the cool things I think I want to show with the Ecamm software is this. So right now is what you're seeing. This is NDI. So same thing. This is my iPhone. I'm using NDI app to broadcast into Ecamm. And so Ecamm is picking this up as a camera. And then on the box, I'm able to kind of like resize it. So it's kind of, I'll say it crops, but yeah, it crops in whatever you want, right? And then by copy and pasting the style of this box that I'm in onto the mobile box, it has the same frame and it has this shadow on it. So, it does make video production a lot easier on what you're trying to show. And I guess my point is, especially what I'm trying to show right now, is a video I created about not being able to go live on Instagram because you need 1,000 followers. So shout out to the cousin Sean who asked, like, oh, you can't go live with 1K. Yeah, you need 1K to go live. And this is just maybe about a month or not a month ago, maybe like 6 months ago, because you were able to go live without having 1,000 followers. And I did one live. I took Makai to the beach. We went somewhere down Lani Kai, and I just did a live with Makai enjoying the beach. And that was the last live, and it was probably over an hour long live because we were just hanging out at the beach, right? But since then, they've capped it so that I can't go live. And so, you know, when Sean, he actually put this comment on another post that I had. Let's see if I can bring that up maybe. So Sean made a comment on on this post. Yeah, so he made a comment on this post that you need 1,000 followers to go live, you know, because when I posted this, and I never did one of those respond with video posts yet. So when he made a comment on this video, I responded and I made this video. So I used his question and I created a video. And with the video, I screen recorded me trying to go live from Instagram, and that's why you see this thing pop up. So the video that I have, I screen recorded the live that I had set up for tonight. Sounds like some Inception kind of shit, but I don't know. I just really wanted to show and prove to, like, not just myself but Instagram, but like, man, you can do a lot. Like, no matter what anyone tells you or they try to, I say, hold you down, but you can do a lot more than you think, right? And so part of this creative challenge was to see, like, all right, well, Instagram, you're not gonna allow me to go live, but you know what? I can make a reel, and in the reel, I can call Instagram out and show them, like, hey, you're not letting me go live, right? And then in the background, I can put the video that I'm promoting, which is tonight's video, the Sunday night video, weekend recap, that, yo, I'm going live, right? So right back in Instagram's face, like, yo, you don't want us to go live? All right, we're gonna find somewhere else to go live then. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you know, everybody else that has 1,000 followers and goes live on Instagram, you know, they be chilling on Instagram, which is cool. I think there's a lot you can do there, but I definitely think that YouTube is something that more people should explore, especially with all the I feel like, you know, there's all these small pockets of people on IG, and then, you know, the YouTube world is I feel like a little bit bigger because people come there for information and not just to, like, scroll or just to, like, look at things. So there's a lot more people that are probably looking to engage or looking to get enlightened or looking for more information, I think, on YouTube. All right. Let's see where we're at right now. All right, we hit the 30-minute mark. I mean, I kind of want to plow through this. I don't want to take up too much time, but there's, you know, some of these subjects that we want to get through. You know, so one of them was why live. You know, IG needs 1,000. You need 1,000 followers to go live on IG. Definitely, you know, I feel like IG has been cool for what it is, but, like, it's, you know, if you're someone like me, maybe looking for more progression or looking to reach out in different ways or to connect in different ways or to put out your information in different ways, I think IG has some caps to it. So, and then we want to talk about facing your fears, right? So 3 things that I learned about facing your fears. And I'm trying to think how long ago this all came up. Well, you know, the topic of facing your fears, I just put it out, like a couple nights ago. Like, hey, we're gonna go live. We're gonna go live on Sunday as a weekend recap, and then I'm gonna add in, you know, 3, you know, things about facing your fears. So I think it really helps because it's in the moment and it's real. So one thing I learned about facing your fears is to start small. I think a lot of times we overwhelm ourselves. We are trying to look at something that is already giving us stress and anxiety, and we're not able to deal with it and cope with it. So I think the best way to do it is to break it down into smaller parts. A lot of times when you're looking at this big whole thing, it's easy to get sidetracked because you feel like you're up against something a lot bigger than you are, right? So if you start to organize and break it down into different parts and take those different parts and pieces, you know, as they are, and in breaking it down into the different parts, you start to realize things that you feel more confident and comfortable with. And I think those are things that has helped me to start with. So one of the things that starting small, I would say, has helped, and I'm gonna go to this is I started here on Instagram personally not more than a year ago, and it's going to be a year coming up soon, maybe in like a week or so. And the way I started was just to kind of, I just started to put out things that I want to remember, almost like a living journal or a picture book, you know. So I started by all these different pictures that I had taken from either photo or from a camera or iPhone or whatever. I started to organize them, and I started to put them in a way where I wanted to put it out, which allowed me to have time and space and have these memories and all that. So that's what's really cool, is that, you know, when I'm saying start small, start with what you know. Start with what is comfortable to you. Start with, you know, anything that's going to create a way for you to be motivated and engaged and to find your you know, your happiness or your peace of it, right? So that's why with all these different moments that I have on here, I just put it out in a way that when I look back, I'm, you know, really happy that I did, because there's pictures like this, like the one you're seeing in the middle of the screen with my grandmother. Like, that's a real photo. And now I get to preserve them in a way where now they can last a lot longer than in their current physical form, right? In their current physical form, if, you know, God forbid or anything, if, you know, they get lost or water damage or the house burns down, they would be lost forever. And I feel like that's why these platforms like this, YouTube or Instagram, or, you know, these digital platforms, they're helping to preserve your memories, your, you know, things that are important to you. And it's not costing you nothing but time, right? And that's kind of the other thing, is that this digital preservation, for me, it bleeds into digital real estate. Right now, we don't have to pay for these things. I mean, but they're taking up server space, which takes up time, money, energy, right? It takes up a lot of resources. But for us to create a video and store it, it's not costing you anything. And so part of like this whole, like, you know, fear thing is also being real with the situation, right? You know, does your fear overpower the ability and the opportunity that you have right now? And I think for a lot of us, that's a good question, right? And everyone's in a personal situation that's going to be their own decision. And for me, it was a healthy decision moving forward, because I know I need to preserve these moments, and I know I couldn't ask anyone else to, and I know no one else was going to do it. So I'm glad, I guess, I got the opportunity to do it myself, right? All right. Number 2, about 3 things I learned about facing my fears, is find something you enjoy. And that's why what I was going through and showing you was what I enjoy. Well, what I enjoy was making sure that I preserve these moments and they don't get lost forever. So that has helped me. And that's why I think breaking it down into a real simple way of how you're going about your relationship with social media or your relationship with documenting. Because before, I feel like I've always liked to document. Maybe I didn't always like to share, but certain ways to share preserves it, right? And also, I realized by sharing it, it can bring someone else happiness and joy. And I think that is one huge thing that a lot of times, yes, we have things that we hold close that are private, but at the same time, I think that we don't know what could really bring someone a lot of joy. So I think that's one thing about social media that is kind of surprising, is that you don't know who is going to be the next person that's going to either be inspired or that's going to have such a personal connection to something that you put out that you don't know personally, but it might resonate with them in a way that gives them hope, or gives them joy, or made them reminisce about a certain time that they had, right? And I'm thinking right now with my grandmother, this is my mom's mom. I actually got to take care of her when I was in college, when she started to have Alzheimer's. And those are memories that I have that I know no one else will have, because we had this personal time together, right? So preserving your moments. And I'm thinking back, I wish I took more pictures. I wish I took video. I wish I had more ways to remember her, right? And this photo you're seeing on your screen is is a lot older. So, like, that's the thing, is that with your loved ones, I don't think we realize, like, when is the last time I want to take a picture with this person? Even your friends, when's the last time? I think a lot of times we take it for granted. And I think that's one thing that allowed me to pick up the camera or record it or to document it, maybe even to share it, because it is important, right? Number three things I learned about facing my fears is use the momentum. And what I mean about using the momentum, and I'll go back to this, is, once I got started and once I had a rhythm, it was a lot easier to keep up. And that's why I got through this, and I had an idea in my mind what I wanted to do, and I want to, and part of these systems, I think for me, dealing with, even in the business sense, is finding a system that's sustainable. And systems that are too complicated, that take up too much energy, aren't sustainable, right? So this system that I had, all right, when I was looking to put these pictures on Instagram, and I knew that they varied in different ways, and I thought a lot about, the layout of how they would be on there, because I didn't want to put in, I would say, too much work, because it would be not sustainable, not the best usage of my time. So what are some of the parameters that I needed to have? Well, for what you're seeing right now, I wanted a white border background, because I saw this documentary about photography, and I think it was Dido who talked about negative space, that negative space is just as important as the positive space. And so when I was doing this, I thought a lot about negative space, on how Instagram, especially at the time, was changing from this square to this other size. And for a lot of people that were on Instagram prior, it just, this whole size transition kind of jacked everyone's pages up, because everyone kind of made it to a look and feel and all this stuff, right? And even in this, you can kind of alter it, right? So I was trying to figure out, how can I have the most minimal setup but sustainable moving forward? And so I ended up on this layout that has, every other post was either vertical or horizontal. And by keeping it minimal with only two options, it was either one or the other. And if I keep doing that, it's going to have this pattern that I was going for. And that means every square or every rectangle is the same size, no matter if it's vertical or horizontal. So this helped me to build momentum, so that I could remove the friction of I want to say thinking, but of applying. A lot more of the energy can be used on a lot of the other things that I wanted to do and execute instead of worrying about the layout, right? So I did the negative space white border and did horizontal or vertical. So with those three things, even though it's a set, it's a system, within that system, I can do whatever I want within that system, right? So if it's a dark picture, light picture, a picture of the sun, a picture of the shoe, it doesn't matter, a picture of the plant, it doesn't matter what it is of, right? It kind of fits into the system that I have. So this system gave me the momentum so that I can remove friction and I can just kind of go at it, right? And this allowed me to do 999 posts in less than a year and just kind of fill up this front page of what I wanted to have on my page, right? But from here, after I start to feel comfortable with that, I started to do a lot more reels. And by understanding this whole Instagram algorithm of how reels, posts, and stories work, I realized, my coming back to social media and how intentional what I was trying to do. So this allowed me again to remove friction, to start to feel more confident and comfortable. And once I had a system down, the momentum allowed me to explore and get creative, right? And that allowed me to get into what I would say the bonus. The bonus of the things, three things I learned about facing my fears is that if you do it for the love, it's not as scary. And even if you do fear it, cliche as it sounds, love conquers all. Your love for it, or your passion for it, these are things. Love and passion has started wars, right? So the things that people believe in really can push and motivate you, right? So in this situation of coming back to social media, I realized that if there's no external pressure and only the only external pressure is the pressure that we put on ourselves, and same thing with the internal, then if I don't focus on those things and I focus on what's important to me, then it's not as hard. And so I think that's where in this last year things became a lot easier, but also I've gotten to have fun and be more creative and explore. And I feel like for someone like me at this point, this is something that I've really embraced, because it doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel as natural. It's something that needs to be worked on. It's practice, right? So what better way to practice than actually to do it? So this is the let's go black and white real quick. Yeah, so this is part of it, right? Is going through the test, not just with the software, not just with the hardware, but testing myself. Going through it, putting myself into these different situations and challenges, like even today with the live. I know that to get more engagement and interaction, and it's not all about that, but just so that I can be more reachable for the people that are trying to tap in, I do have to schedule these out. And so that's kind of one thing I've been thinking about, is how to schedule these out, if I'm going to be more comfortable picking these certain days. And right now we did a Friday night live, we did a weekend, kind of a wrap up, and then I feel like we'll probably do one on Tuesday. So if we go live 3 days a week, drop a comment. What's your thoughts? Even if you're watching this later, I know that was at 10 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. It is kind of late. So, I know that not too many people are going to tap in. But, to be honest, I know everyone's busy anyway. So I don't expect anyone to tap in anyway. But maybe if we schedule these out in advance, and, I'm kind of open right now to kind of adjusting the time if we need to, then, maybe we'll get more people to jump in. But even if you're watching this later, drop a comment. And I know like it seems that like I'm not really fishing for comments, but I really am interested to see and hear what you guys think. So that's why it's kind of a catch-22, right? Like I'm not really wanting to force you guys to engage, right? But I really want to hear from you. At the same time, I know a lot of people don't engage, kind of people just come in and peep through and kind of check it and maybe maybe because that's where I was too, right? It's part of facing your fears. But I realize also, part of what's a good netizen, a citizen of the net, is being engaging, is being available, is commenting. And I'm really, I'll say proud, but I'm really happy that in the past few weeks, there's a few people, and I'm definitely going to call them out on maybe the next live, but there's a few people that have really showed a lot of love. And when I show love, I'm not expecting any love back because I feel like an abundance of love. I just don't have an abundance of time, right? And that's why like it's hard for me to follow more than 999 people because I know this old algorithm thing, I don't see on Instagram. I don't see more than maybe 200 of them of what's going on, right? And so same thing in reverse. I know that all the people that follow me aren't seeing my stuff either, right? But that's the way it works. I try to engage with the people that I follow and try to I mean, to be honest, and some of you guys will know this out there. Like I feel, and I've spoken to some of you guys, I feel like we can affect the algorithm in a good way. And there's some tests that I've done in the past weeks that I've seen the results from. So, like as I explore and keep up this testing, testing it live, we got the vlog coming on Wednesday. So that's another thing. Wednesday, the vlog drops. So, I just want to add that in. If you haven't seen the vlog yet, it's because it didn't drop yet, but it drops on Wednesday or actually Tuesday night, midnight. So, yeah, just a heads up. But yeah, one thing besides doing it for love, I think is, everyone's at their own place and space, and I feel like we shouldn't we should allow people to come to it whenever they want, right? But at the same time, I feel like with this digital real estate, people have a chance to jump in right now and do a lot. There's still a lot of opportunity to voice your opinion out there. All right, let's see if I can go to the next scene and show something different because I want to show. So this is a whole scene in a picture. This is a picture I took of earlier, and I just dropped it into this and I resized it. So this is one of the features of Ecamm, this software to go live and for video production. And then this is a scene this is a website widget. And the reason why I want to show this on the live is because this is different than a screen share. So this website widget allows you to type in and then load in a website, but we can't be interactive with the website. And so I want to show you this scene. And so this scene is a screen share. And so right now I have the box cropped on my desktop as well as in Ecamm. And check this out. I can scroll. I can scroll the website. And so this is a really cool feature. This is a feature in Ecamm. And I'm showing the Ecamm website right now. So, so at least you understand like what's going on here. Shout out Doc. I don't know if you see my cursor. Nope. Can't. My cursor is hidden. But anyway, yep, this is Ecamm website. And they're doing all kind of fun, crazy stuff. But yeah, the Ecamm software does a lot. You've seen me from day one come in from iPhone 8 with Echo, and 2 weeks later, here we are sharing a screen share of a website, right? So pretty cool stuff. So if you are looking to get into Ecamm and test it out, it is a Mac software, and I'm using a Mac Mini that's kind of old. I mean, but it still works. And if you are looking to, you can check out this link right here. So one of the cool features of Ecamm is that you can have these different scenes and you can put up different things, right? So I can still have this screen share, which I can scroll the Ecamm website. And then I also have a text box overlay with my Ecamm affiliate link. So this is not a sponsored video, but I am an Ecamm affiliate. So this is the Ecamm affiliate link that you can use if you are interested in signing up for Ecamm and checking out the platform. One of the cool things I did this week was start a sun fade test for a shirt that I made. And so I wish it really looked like this, but this is a picture from when I took it. It was in the rain, and because it's outside in the sun, it's getting sun faded. And so when the rain hit it, it had this almost like this composition book kind of look and feel, which I love. But this isn't the look it's gonna stay, right? So I just want to show another example of a whole scene with a picture. That's what this one was. And so kind of going back to this Instagram thing, I'm actually glad that I couldn't go live because it really propelled me to jump on to the YouTube platform and to really take advantage of this software that Ecamm has provided. And so in doing so, I've gotten a lot more comfortable and familiar with putting videos out, speaking on camera, and just feeling a lot more comfortable just dealing with all these buttons and all these different things, right? Because there's so many features. That's why I tried to kind of set up my workflow today by having a topic and then something I can refer to visually. And that's why I tried to build this out, just before this live, just so I can get in the rhythm of feeling I don't want to say pressure, but feeling of creating with constraints. It's nice to create and just do whatever you want, but with a certain time crunch or a certain objective, a certain reason, I think it really allows you to zero in on these skills, right? So I'm really glad. I feel a lot more comfortable. I know it's only been like a couple weeks, but I feel like there's a night and day difference from day one, and that's why I keep in this momentum up. I'm just gonna keep rocking it. And so kind of getting into, and I know it's getting kind of like close to an hour, so we're going to try to wrap this up. One of the cool things I did this past week is this, we'll go to this video too. So this video right here, I was really fortunate to go to the Hawaii Little Racers event that they had, this meetup for the kids so that they can have a safe place to ride their Power Wheels. And Royce allowed me, and the parents allowed me to do these videos so that I can help them provide some visuals so that they can promote this to local and officials and lawmakers so that they can get more safe places for the kids. So this was really a fun thing. This was the first edit I did, just so I can get out the mobile side. This is on the FX30. And I do have, and this is like the vertical, for the mobile, but I have the horizontal that I'm still editing, and that has some GoPro in it too. So that's going to be really neat. And then, but yeah, I just wanted to show like this video that got done recently. And I think it was, I did this and I put it on YouTube, but I couldn't get the video to play from YouTube. So I just did a NDI screen share from my phone, and you're watching this obviously off my IG, right, without sound. That's how I can play it, right, because of copyright. But for this video, I actually have sound on it, and it's sound from Uppbeat. And you probably heard it on the intro, and you probably hear it on the outro. But Uppbeat is a music licensing platform. And so the music that I paid for, but because I am signed up, the music that I'm using for this video, I can share it. And it's not, well, yes, it's licensed to me, right? So it's part of the licensing agreement, all that stuff. But anyway, if you're interested in Uppbeat, I should have links in the description. And if it's not in the description, it will be there. And it is in other videos as well. All right, so this was the live for Sunday. This is like the weekend recap. It's been a crazy week. This is one video that, you know, I worked on this weekend. Cali Roots was this weekend. I don't know if any of you caught it, but they had live for like 3 days, and I've just been editing and vibing to Cali Roots all weekend long. What a vibe. So yeah, they had some really great performances. If you did see it, drop me a comment on what your favorite performance was. I think yeah, I'm trying to think which one. Collie Buds was really good. There's some other really good, some legends that were there that was really good too. But yeah, this is a recap for the Ecamm. And yeah, don't forget the first vlog 1. So testing is the title. Well, testing is the series. It's the first title is Why YouTube, and episode 1 drops midnight Wednesday the 27th. So check it out. Hopefully whenever you see this, you can jump in on it. Maybe you catch up late, but just jump in anyway and catch it, because every Wednesday from a couple days from now, there should be a vlog drop. So we got 3 lined up already. 1, 2, and 3 is already uploaded, and we'll be working on editing 4, 5, and 6. So yeah, super excited for all of that. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and continue the momentum of going live, and just kind of say thank you for everyone who's kind of tapped in so far. You know, this you know, journey back to social media has been interesting. You know, because I like analytics, I do like to I enjoy looking at things, but because I know the analytics ain't everything, I do have my own sense of like how things work. So that's been really fun to try to test and play with. But all right, this is the end of the Sunday live. We'll probably, you know what, maybe we'll do this again on Sunday, but I definitely think the next live will probably be Tuesday, and then we'll jump into the Friday night live, and then maybe we'll do the Sunday one again. So maybe 3 times a week. But thank you guys for stopping in. I appreciate all the comments. Garrett, thanks for dropping in some comments. I see you. Appreciate you, fam. Thank you guys.